Hey team, how's it going? Welcome to the Modern Creative, where we help you become a better producer. Before we get started, be sure to like the video, share, and subscribe. Since you are receiving this content for the premium price of absolutely free, all we ask is that you show us some love. We appreciate you, and now I present to you, the host with the most, Eddie Gray.
Hey, what's up team? This is Eddie Gray. Thank you so much for stopping by the Modern Creative. This is where we help you become a better producer. And as always, I am on the quest just to get a little bit better. And today I'll be running Logic stock drums. I'll be using Logic's drummer. And I'm gonna send all of the tracks through the various channel strips of the SSL BIG SIX. And we're gonna see if we can, in fact, make digital drums sound like analog drums. You ready? Here we go. Okay, this first example, at the very top, we have the Logic Pro stock drums. And when I solo that, you're gonna be hearing everything that's happening inside of Logic. And then I created a render, same drums, using the Big Six. So we're gonna isolate both of these elements and we're going to listen for the nuances. Bear in mind that I have gain staged these files, so we're not listening for loudness changes. We're just listening to the depth of sound or to the richness of sound. Here we go. Now I'm particularly floored by the snare drum itself. We're taking MIDI drums samples, running it through an iconic channel strip, and things are starting to sound real. We're getting so much depth, we're getting so much power from simply running this through a console. Amazing stuff. Okay, let me run you through the workflow between Logic Pro and the Big Six. Let's put Kyle to work. So I combined this mono channel strip with a stereo one here, 2 kicks. I've got the low end thump here, and then the high thwack snap here. So together, after that, we can add the snare. So here I'm just looking for body. And I'm always running a little bit of compression on the channel strip just to kind of touch it, keep everything even. All right, hi-hats coming in on mono channel 4, panned over to the right channel. You can't underestimate the EQ on this thing. It sounds so beautiful. Here's the hi-hat without. And then I'll just punch it back in. So it's a great tool to really get something to sit in the mix. Okay, now we have the room mics coming in here. So that's just providing a nice ambiance around the drums. And I just use the same old trick that everyone uses put just enough, and then back off. Now for the overheads, that's another story altogether. Here I want impact, I want a sense of openness, and that's where the overheads come in. I definitely don't mind coloring the overhead some. So you definitely get a lot of character there. Let me mute these so you can see what I mean. That's just a sterile sound. It's going to work in some cases, but definitely for rock and roll, for pop, you want this big overhead sound. Without, overheads, baby. I double up the kick on channel strip 910. And I definitely don't shy away from adding that low end. So with the initial default setting, it sounds like this. And with. Man, I love how that feels in the headphones. It's such a beautiful feeling. So here we have an additional snare. Let's bring that in. So you're hearing what's happening here. You're just getting a lot of power. And that's coming from the mid curve. And by the way, these are all fixed curves. You can't really change the stereo channel strips. The mono channel strips, we can make a bell curve or a low shelf filter. You can also make a high shelf or a high bell up here. This snare is just really thwacking. This is sounding great. Finally, I'll just bring in the toms, which come in at the very end of the phrase on 13 and 14. There's no additional processing here, but here you go. So yeah, just that sense of togetherness that the G series bus compressor brings is amazing. And again, I'll touch the mono channel strips just a bit with compressor. You don't have that compression with the stereo channel strips, but this thing sounds absolutely unbelievable. Hey team, thank you for watching. And listen, if you don't have the Big Six, fret not, because in my next video, I'm going to be covering how you can get a very similar sound using a distinct plugin. Oh, by the way, Kyle, you're fired.